Last time on A Dream Called Meraaai, we were over the moon when resin man Andre Nel finally revealed our dashboard. Then to lift our spirits a bit higher, Markiplier Chris constructed a rear bumper that is a formidable tailgate destroyer. Power utility ex-Dom spoiled the party when our rolling blackouts hit an historic all-time low point, leaving much of the country unable to function on any level for hours at a time. This week we have a few curved balls to deflect. Worryingly, our resin guru Andre Nel is taken ill and ends up in hospital. Then, to add to our worries, Mr. Consistency, Smoking John, is a no-show. And our off-the-grid power dude Donald gets down and dirty as he begins our solar power 12 and 220 volt installation. All this and so much more in episode 88 of A Dream Called Meraaai. I always look forward to a new week at East Coast Scratch and Dent, as it is a week closer to completing our build. However, this morning we have a few issues to deal with. It is a new week, it is a new day, and yeah man, we have got challenges and they are lining up like these oaks standing in queues for that relief aid which is not arriving to anyone, which was promised by our government for the poorest of the poor. Anyway, yeah, not a good week, eh? Get here, resin man Andre Nel is in hospital. There's something going on there. Smoker John has hurt his foot again, plus there's other issues going on there. I don't know what they are, but not good news, not at this stage of the build. And yeah, not the kind of thing I wanted to greet me when I arrived here this morning. But having said that, we are still busy working on the front end of the vehicle, and Markiplier Chris is up to his elbows in modifying, cutting and grinding, so let's start there. Chris has started to modify the Mercedes windscreen wiper mechanism so that it suits the front of the vehicle and our huge windscreen. First, he tacked new boxes to house the parts into place. Then the boxes were welded together, creating a permanent anchor point for the mechanism and the motor. These boxes will be hidden once our dashboard is installed. Further back in our big girl, off-the-grid Donald is having a great time fiddling with things that freak me out. Another critical part of the vehicle is our electrical system, and Donald is inside here getting stuck in and just starting to run all the wiring. And what's interesting is every time Donald comes here, he looks at me like I've changed everything, but we haven't. Off the grid Donald ran some of these cables a while ago. Now he needs to do something that all these Owens who dabble with electricity like to do. What is comforting is knowing that Donald here is very good at pulling wire. He's like a boffin, eh?
This panel is going to come in here, so I want another panel here.
Our power setup is not that complex. The challenge is the space we are working in and getting the rest of the wires from A to B before we install our paneling. Inside, all our downlights are 12 volts. In total, we have about 6 of these lights. 2 are in our bedroom. The cabling for these lights, as well as the running lights that will be on the exterior of the rear of the vehicle, all need to be in place so that the guys can start to close things up. With Smoke and John not at work this week, Brom pulls in an old mate of Meraaai. As they say in the classics, the show must go on, and at this stage we have no idea whether John is coming back or not. So we have got the prodigal son returns. We've got Rocky back on the job here, which is fantastic, but there's a lot to do, so yeah, we need to get cracking and to do it. Rocky is busy working on the overhead storage bins, as well as the large interior panels and plug point for off-the-grid Donald's wiring.
100%.
And our experience is starting to show here. You can check Donald is a much better at pulling wire than Brom. Brom's are real happy when it comes to pulling wire, but Donald, he knows his stuff, eh? While Donald and Brom pull wire, Rocky has been working on some tricky interior finishes that we will be needing in the near future. What you see behind me is not a cute little sleigh thing that you can slide down a bank on and have a fat hill. No, that is a little test run on how we're going to make the bend for the shower door. So we're not going with the sliding thing anymore. It will be a fixed one, but it will have a curve. So the guys they've cut this plywood, they've made incisions, they've wet it, they've bent it, and they now put those little things on there, and hopefully tomorrow morning the bend will stay there. The sliding door would have been great. However, I was worried about rattles and the durability of the material I had brought for our shower door. This way we would have a much more solid setup. The guys have been working on the shower here, and so the shower is now actually installed and the tap is installed. The pipes are run from the water tank. So this is nearly sorted. What we're going to do on the door for the shower, I bought like a flexible door that would be a roller door. We've changed our mind because of rattles, and we're going to just use that stuff as a veneer over a thin material, either PVC sheeting or something like that. This way we would have a much more solid setup. As Rocky begins cutting the slider door to size, I realize there is no going back now. As thrilled as I was to have Rocky back in the fold, I was seriously concerned regarding Andre and Smokin' John. This is a very worrying week regarding guys working on the vehicle. Andre Null is still in hospital. We're not quite sure what's going on there. And then more disturbing is I also don't know what's going on in the Smokin' John department. I don't even know if he's going to come back and work on this vehicle again. I don't get involved in any internal politics here, but it'll be a real pity if he doesn't come back, because his work is good and he's done so much on here. So yeah, whatever's going on there, I hope he can sort himself out and come back and we can carry on with finishing the vehicle. So yeah, very disturbing. The best way to clear my mind was to head out and go flying over a nearly 4-kilometer zipline, the longest in Africa, with my daughter Holly, who was paying me a short visit. This big wire would have had off-the-grid Donald in ecstasy. It was amazing. At the highest point, you barrel over Orobi Gorge at some 70 kilometers an hour, 380 meters above the ground. Next, you're skimming the surface of a lake and getting a soggy bottom. Our guides Zinhle and Kayalihle made sure we were safe during our epic wire pull. While the rest of the country has got absolutely no power, stage 6 load shedding, where you go nowhere. If you come to Lake Eland and you go on their zip lines, you can go somewhere very, very quickly. And the heavier you are, the faster you go. So all you chubby oaks, pull in. You're going to rock it along, man. But it is fantastic. With a bucket full of adrenaline coursing through my veins, I headed back to the reality of our bus to overland vehicle conversion. Something that still has not been attended to is our drivetrain. And it's been a few weeks now, and so I think it's time for me to corner Brahm and ask him what is he going to do and when's he going to do it.
The engine is next week or the week after this job. There's more urgent things to finish up, like your nose and all that for the bus. But the motor, after that, we already measured your prop shaft and the things that we need for that, so that we'll sort out next week. But more crucial parts now is the body of the bus. You want the windows in, then we can do the motor. The motor is the last one.
Okay, and then just the last one, I know with Smokin' John, we're not quite sure, you haven't been able to get hold of him. How is Andre?
Andre is not well. He said he'll be back on Monday or Tuesday, but apparently the doctor results came and he's fine. So, but we'll see if we see him. I can't get hold of him at the moment. So
At last, some good news regarding Resin Man. Andre may be slow, but there is no denying the quality of his work, and we are hopefully going to see him back at his post next week. We've come to the end of another week, and it's been a fairly quiet week and a worrying week with regards to John. I have no idea what's going on, but it's also been great to welcome Rocky back on the job, and things are smoking along on that level. Still so much to do, but all these little things are happening now, and it's the dressing. We're putting that puzzle together. And then once again, just to keep my Ukrainian mates always on my mind. These images are by a French artist who took well-known works of arts and has done their interpretation of that artwork, and they're quite incredible pieces of art. And what is amazing is the art that is coming out as a result of this war. There has been some brilliant stuff, poignant, heartbreaking stuff. But that's it for now, for this week. Thank you for watching, thank you for the support, and we will catch you next time. So look after yourselves and keep safe. Remember to like us on Facebook and subscribe to our channel on YouTube. You will find us under A Dream Called Meraaai. Until next time, keep your dreams alive.